Evening, Saiyans. This your boy Sim the Saiyan here, and as the title suggests, I'm bringing up one of my old demons, depression, and how I deal with it, how I dealt with it, how I more or less won the ongoing war, and how I can help you, or hopefully help you, deal with yours. Now, to get started, me and depression go back pretty much the majority of my life. I was always, I wouldn't say I was out, well, let's be real. I was kind of outcast. I was a little bit more different than a lot of the other kids I always grew up in, around my own neighborhood. I kept to myself. It is what it is. My parents were a lot older. If my dad was alive today, he'd be 75. My mother is turning 72. So with that type of mind state, once I became like a kid, a lot of stuff a lot of kids and teenagers were doing, I just wasn't hit with. So pretty much up to high school, I had a few friends, but I kind of always felt a little out of place, like I was an outcast, or like, and I kind of got shunned as being outcast. I wasn't into sports, so you know, you grow up in an urban area and you ain't into sports, or you like doing other shit like going hiking and things like that nature. Everybody look at you like you're weird and call you weird. So you know, it is what it is, and I just kept it myself for pretty much my entire childhood. Also, a lot of close friends moved away, so it was like anybody I did get close to left. So I was like, okay, I'll just be alone. High school was pretty good. I made a good bunch of friends there. Like a lot of people I still love to this day, and I call brothers and some sisters. That I really am happy that I met. College was the same way. A lot of good people I met there too, and I love and thank them also. Like, you know, they're just really just good people. But once I moved out and got on my own and got in the real world, I fell into more or less the modern slump, as you would call it. My depression worsened in my early 20s from like 21, 20, 23, because it was like I was alone, I felt like. I mean, I was going back and forth to work, so on and so forth, and I was just really, really like, you know, alone and frustrated because I felt like I had no control over my life. Like, I just felt like, is this it? Like, what am I doing with my life? I feel like I was just like, had nothing to work towards. So I moved out of my parents' house. There was a gym right across the street from the gym I work at. There was a gym across the street from where I lived at, and I was working out there. Met a bunch of great dudes there that really helped me out, that helped me keep focused. Shout out to my man Burl. He's the one that got me started working out. And I was working out at first. I was running a lot. I was doing a lot of cardio because I wanted to lose body fat, because I felt like I was just like a piece of shit. And I lost a lot of body fat, but then when I lost all the weight, I had no strength factor, and I looked lanky, and when the wind blew, I would fall over. Which also then pissed me off. I was like, damn, I've been running for almost a year now, and this is like, all I got to show for it is this skinny-ass body that can't do shit. So I started going to the gym more, lifting weights, getting that knowledge. Was doing that for like 2-3 years. I wasn't that great at it. I was still very new. I was still focused more on like cardio and a lot of machines. They didn't really lift like that. So I didn't really get into it. Then when that gym closed, regretfully, I went to Gold's and I started lifting there. Started getting a lot more knowledge, talking to the trainers there, getting my education, and I started to, like, you know, make that part of my life. But unfortunately, the demon reared its ugly head in its worst form. Depression has hit me like harder and harder the older I got. It felt like the older I got, the worse it became. And there was like a bad relationship I had with one of my exes that ended. There was like constant waste of time and energy on people. Like, my kindness was getting taken for granted. I was just looking for all the wrong answers and from all the wrong people, and I just fell into the slump. And it was a dark, dingy, disgusting, annoying, fucking slump. Then I went to go talk to somebody. And in that conversation I had with that person, they decided to put me on Zoloft. And kids, if you're watching this and you go talk to a psychiatrist and they automatically don't give you any legit answers, they just automatically throw you in some fucking pills, walk out that office. Don't take shit and flip them the bird for me. So, I was on Zoloft. 3 months of it, I was happy. I was more energetic. I felt great. 4th month kicked in and I felt like shit. And I kept feeling like shit. Like, uninspired, unmotivated, uncharismatic, no passion, no drive, pieces of shit. So I stopped taking the Zoloft and hoped that maybe that would counteract what happened to me. Yeah, it counteracted alright. And kids, if you are on antidepressants and you randomly just stop taking it cold turkey, don't. You will torture your friends and family and drive your mind to places you do not want to go. But I was in a conundrum. When I was on the medication, I didn't want to lift weights. When I'm not on the medication, I barely wanted to lift weights, and I was angry at the fucking world. So I was damned if I do, damned if I didn't. Went back to the doctors, asked them, what can I do? Their suggestion, put me on more pills. 3 different types, actually. So I went from taking 1 piece of shit pill to 3 piece of shit pills. And, well, I told them straight up, I'm not taking these pills. There has to be another solution. Their exact words to me was, there's no way around it. If you don't do this, the effects will be irreversible, blah, 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 blah. It's best if you just take this medication. I walked out the office. I went to a nearby 7-Eleven. I picked up a gallon of water. I grabbed some bananas for potassium. Grabbed some... What the fuck did I grab? I think I grabbed like some donuts, which was probably counterintuitive now I think about it. Got some donuts, carved up, took my ass to the gym. And I sat in the sauna. Then I went to go hit weights. And then I went outside and I sprinted. And I would go home every night and I would do research on how to build up my body. And it led me into doing more bodybuilding type stuff. So I end up eating more. I end up drinking a shit ton of water. I think I'm the reason the hurricanes are happening bad now, because I drank so much fucking water that I must have fucked up the planet. So I just kept drinking water, kept lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting and lifting until I got myself better. And then my dad died. That sucked. But instead of falling, I think for him, I did not let depression win. I got back up and I continued to move forward. It took a while, I'm not going to lie, but I moved forward. And I tried to get into men's physique and bodybuilding. I never took steroids, God no. No, I'm too chicken shit for that. Reason being I never took steroids is because if antidepressants can drive my emotions this fucking crazy, I would hate to see what that shit would do. So I, for a while, got into serious lifting. I attempted to get into powerlifting and I didn't even bother competing because my numbers were just so fucking horrible. I just stayed on the stagnant path. I had flat bench, deadlift, squat, flat bench, deadlift, squat, worked on shoulders, did all that. Like, I really got into my lifting. And if y'all been following me for the last couple of years, you know what happened next. So one day I looked up and I was like, well, bodybuilding isn't working. Powerlifting isn't really moving me that much around. So what else is there to do? I met, at this point, I had met my man Javier and I met my man Ryan. And they took me to a great place called Never State. And the atmosphere there, the equipment there, the knowledge that those guys have there, and Brian runs a great gym, it really helped me strive for something more, and it reignited a passion I almost lost. And if I had lost that passion, I would have gone back into depression, even worse than the first go around. So I really appreciate everybody that has ever helped me in my fitness journey, and I appreciate everybody that continue on my fitness journey. I would also say this. If you are going through depression, and I know you hear this all the time, it does get better. In time, it will get better. But it is a fucking war. And I don't mean no bullshit like cute anime war. No, I'm talking about a nitty-gritty, horrifying, leave scars on everything war. But there is a weapon. The weights are the weapon. When you walk into the gym, that's the battleground. Depression is a demon. The weights is your weapon. Use those weights to kick that demon's ass to the point that he regrets he or she, ever walking into your life. if you are suffering due to depression and you have not used, and the gym is not your answer, I would say find an outlet, find yoga, hiking, martial arts. Find something that gets you active that can help you keep your mind off it. Find something that motivates you that's not another living being. Find something that's going to literally better you, and that's going to help kill it. And it, I mean the depression, not the clown, which that thing can die also. But, and take this with you before you click off this YouTube page. For all those going through depression, hear me out. I hope all y'all win. I hope all y'all succeed. And I hope whatever demons that's biting you, you kill them. And I love all y'all. Side note, before I do leave. I know a lot of y'all have also asked me questions before about, do I wear the Just Saying gear to compensate like my depression and things like that. For those people who know me that know that I have depression. And it's actually no. Just Saying gear and all the other superhero gear I wear and stuff like that actually has nothing to do with my depression. I'm just a big geek. However, if I'm going to fight my demons, I prefer to do it looking like Goku. And so I guess in a sense it does help out. I love all y'all. Keep fighting. You will win. Saiyan Sims, out.